going on?
There's been a lot of soaking in the Bacta.
Ship
Just
smells
various,
like Bacta.
yeah, just some various Bacta juice soakage. It's been good.
Played some Pizzak.
Pure Pacific.
Why don't the people who did some of the text RP explain what has transpired potentially? Because I believe that there's been some other developments that have transpired.
But
That
you would have
happened
to
off
mark
screen.
her stream not safe for work.
Oh, it's already marked because I cussed too much to not.
That's fair.
I mean, I'm about to go put my sandwich back in the fridge, but Tia started the portrait.
Yeah, they started the portrait, and we did some shooting lessons, and
Yeah,
it's just some
That's
light
about it.
banter.
yeah, that's about it.
Light banter.
Mhm.
300 posts worth of light banter.
The light is metaphorical.
It's banter about light. They're both very interested in physics.
No, you see, it's light banter because they're both light side.
Yeah, I think we left off with opening up a note.
We are in transit / arriving to
Oh yeah,
Gamble World.
I hope everyone went on Pinterest in the last month.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we
Why?
do that?
I
Then
mean,
go
yes,
digging
but
for
why?
fancy casino outfits.
Oh.
Nah.
We'll be right back.
Okay, so guys, wrapped up things on the Paramount. Decided to head to Bilbringi, the planet where there was another lead on the Bacta stuff. In transit, a couple of things happened. Apparently, we have a new ship, as in the
Ship.
relationship that is going on. I don't know how successfully Iffy is learning how to shoot a blaster.
Not very.
Kana had a little conversation with Lissy. Realized, kind of getting some further goals and pointers on some things she experienced while she was in the Bacton, having visions and all that fun shit. But we ended off with the planet, or with the ship, entering into orbit and heading towards one of the major cities in Bilbringi. Bilbringi is an inner rim, a little bit closer towards the safer side of the galaxy. A little more tightly controlled in the grand scheme of things right now. However, it is still far enough away that it can get away with some things. It's right on the edge of the law in many ways. And it is known to be fairly wealthy, not overtly so like you'd have with the upper echelons on Coruscant, but fairly wealthy due to the shipyards and such that are in and amongst the Bilbringi system. And the couple of hyperspace lanes that intersect in Bilbringi and around Bilbringi just make it a fairly popular place to come and stay for a period, either in amongst traveling, breaking up long stints between worlds, or coming and staying while ships get fixed or replaced. And as you enter into the planet's atmosphere, you can see that this planet, as opposed to other wealthier planets that you all have been to in your time, this one seems to be primarily kind of cordoned off cities. You see spots on the surface where there are either very massive cities with towering skyscrapers, or you can see a couple of cities that seem to be almost built into and amongst nature, with large stretches of jungle and water and mountains in between. They're finding their pockets and staying to their pockets of where it's easy to build or convenient to build. And the ship takes a turn towards one particular pocket where you see just on the edge of a very large mountain range that seems to stretch almost across a continent, in some foothills and tall spire-shaped rocks and formations, not skyscrapers, but you still see a couple of buildings that are a good 10, 12 stories. And it's all brightly colored. You see, even though the buildings themselves are stone and metal in kind of various shades to match the rocks and the mountains that they've been placed against, every patch of cloth and every vehicle you can see, and even the sidewalks themselves, are just dozens and dozens and dozens of bright colors that almost seem to reflect the sun and make it seem dazzling as you approach. And as you go around one side of the city, you can see what you assume to be the main casino, as it is where the largest crowds are and where most people seem to be coming and going from. And it stands about 15, 20 stories high altogether. And off to one side you see a large oval-shaped track of some sort. And you go just past it to a spaceport area where you can land the ship, and it's relatively clean, relatively well put together. Definitely better than you were faced with at the start of this adventure. But you land the ship without too many problems. Marcy is able to go through the checklists and securities to get yourself a not completely isolated or private landing bay, but one where there's only about 2 other ships on it, similar size. And when you land, you don't see anybody in and around these ships. They seem to be just parked and left. And as soon as the ship lands, in the hiss of the hydraulics as it lowers and settles, and the ramp opens down, you can see a kind of well put together human woman of some sort, or near human woman, with almost dazzlingly bright blonde hair, platinum blonde hair, in a very business-like kind of pencil dress, dark navy in color, approaches, and you can see she's got a data pad tucked in one arm, and she is very clearly recording the ship, and approaches, stands directly under the nose of the ship, and just kind of waits until somebody comes to address her. Just smiling in that very clearly dealing with customers type face that you just plaster on when you're waiting to deal with somebody.
So, before we exit, before we get too ahead of ourselves, I have to ask, has everyone been made aware of certain events that transpired on the ship?
I don't know. Nothing really happened on the ship.
Yeah, nothing happened on the ship.
So so that'll be a no. Those two are going to be coy about it.
Okay. That's okay. That's all I needed. And Kana, you would not have anything to say about that?
She talked to Tia. She's gonna stay out of it.
Okay. That answers that question.
They
Then-
had a very cute bonding night, okay?
Yeah, it was very cute.
Yes, yep. Yeah. So, that be that the case, then I will have Kane saunter over to Iffy as they are landing or something. I assume Iffy would be out in the open somewhere.
Yeah. She's probably, the cockpit or whatever. The bridge.
Yeah. And Kane will just casually remark, like, hey, so I think I think you need to talk to that person down there. But also, before you do that, is everything okay? Because you missed movie night, and you also look a little, well, not haggard. That's not really the right word for it.
Okay.
No, not haggard. Distinctly not haggard. But you look, different.
Iffy has a mug of calf, and she just is sipping from it very casually as Kane goes on. She's like, I don't know. I think I've just been getting a bit more sleep lately. But I am sorry about, movie night, though. Something just came up, and you know how these things are. But you get to pick next time, though. And we could do a double feature.
He looks somewhat placated, but there's an intuition to him that I don't know if you want to have this be a contested role or not, Z, but there's just an intuition in the back of his mind is like, is this she hiding something?
I mean, are you wanting to try and roll some shit to see?
Feel free.
Sounds like someone wants to do push-ups.
Yeah.
I want to role play and roll dice. I am not.
You know what, Joe? Joe, listen.
Mhm.
I will keep track. Forget about it. You can do it over the course of days, not all today. All right?
Sure, fair,
All right. Okay.
but what does what would Kane use to suss out a lie?
I'm trying to figure out. Tell me, Kira,
Mm-hmm.
how Iffy is trying to deal with this very clear. Your bodyguard is trying to sniff out something.
Iffy is attempting to be as casual as physically possible. She does actually seem pretty relaxed. However, she's also lying through her teeth. So,
Okay. So it'll be contested against your deception with. Let's say vigilance on.
Vigilance.
Kane's part. So what is your deception?
he's gonna be rolling red, purple. So good luck with that, buddy.
Oh, great. Before I do that, do we have to do force points?
Yes, we do.
Is that
Yes, we do. Hold on.
clear the pool?
Okay.
Let's go.
Roll y'all shit.
Oh God, why did I roll an extra one?
Oh, Z,
Reroll.
I think you have one in. I think you have one in your thingy.
Oh.
What the? Okay, hold on. Let me roll destiny. Did that. There we go.
Oh,
Oh,
damn
it's
it.
just like us.
Oh my god. Why did I wait to roll?
It's all on you, Amy.
Ugh,
Yep.
fuck!
Tia, what the fuck?
Doubling
Wow.
down. Yeah,
You know,
so you don't even
this
have
is
any light sight
expected.
to upgrade this with.
That's fine. So it's what is it? 2 purple, 2 red?
No,
Two red
two
and
red,
one
one.
purple.
Yeah.
2 red, 1 purple.
Easy. You're gonna make it right now.
Vigilance is. I was hoping it would be some kind of cunning-based skill.
You
Nope.
got advantage.
One advantage.
One advantage.
You're
Notice key environmental factor.
Yeah, she's. You've been around her enough to know that if he does occasionally just get very random calls and random things for Hapes, for the Republic, that does keep her from being able to participate in things. So it's not out of the question that she's just had something that has popped up that has kept her distracted. But you're pretty sure that whatever it is, it must be good because she is not complaining. She does look fairly happy, fairly well rested. So at least it's better than what you have experienced in the past, where she has been very angry or very frustrated with something that she is either having to do or hearing about and can't help.
Kane just kind of gets a questioning scrunch to his face, and then just shrugs and does, like, the thought of Iffy acting suspicious and talking about a phone call that he might not believe actually happened. That's pretty normal vibes from Iffy. Iffy is kind of always acting a little suspicious. That's just her baseline. So Kane shrugs it off and just goes, "Oh, well, shit, okay. Then
Well,
I guess
Everything all right with you? I mean, you seem a little on edge.
no, I'm fine. I'm fine. There's nothing to worry about."
Are you sure? Because if there's anything I can do for you, I know that whole business with your leg, there's a lot to go through. So, I mean, if you do you want some extra spending money?
This is when Vile Lexus perks up. It sounds like you're trying to redirect.
Redirect? What would I be redirecting from? He's my friend. I'm looking after him.
Well, no. Normally, when you deny somebody, you just leave it at that. But only the suspicious try to push back on them.
So you're saying it's suspicious to care about a friend?
No, not suspicious to care about a friend. It's suspicious to care about a friend right after you denied something of theirs.
I mean, I'd hardly call stating the facts a denial.
I mean, that's just kind of iffy. Just
If
the general
Violex-
vibe of
Violex
this
didn't
is
care
iffy.
earlier, but now she's adjusted.
Do you want Vilexa to roll here?
Yeah, since
I don't
Joe
need to.
set the precedence of, like, you're gonna have to roll that vigilance.
I don't need to roll vigilance. I want to roll hacking to hack into Iffy's computer to see if she had any calls recently.
You would have to go into her private room to be able to get to that.
I will make a note to do that later, just for shits and giggles. But for now, I'll let it slide.
Iffy continues very peacefully sipping her calf. Turns on the comm button on the ship to answer to this woman, and she's like, "Good morning, it's Ambassador Fell coming in from the Hapen Consortium."
This woman just kind of, like, perks up a little bit, and you see her, like, reach up and very clearly mess with some sort of earpiece, and then you just hear the click on of a mic. Well, hello there, Ambassador. We don't believe we weren't expecting you. Just passing through?
Yeah, just stopping by, doing a little sightseeing. I heard you guys got a nice establishment over here.
Oh, certainly. It's one of the best in this part of the galaxy. How many days are you expecting to stay? Just a matter of paperwork, unfortunately.
How many days are we expecting to stay? Would about a week seem?
Week's fine.
It's up to you.
None ideas. Left beef.
Ideas like you. Probably about a week, maybe a little longer, but I don't see it taking very much longer than that.
And you see her immediately start working on her data pad, nodding. Week. Okay, wonderful. We'll make sure to keep this spot available for you for that time. And by chance, do you already have any arrangements, or are you planning on staying on your ship?
Well, an establishment like this has got to have a whole lot of nice hotels, don't it? I'm looking to stretch my legs a little bit. I don't know about you guys. She looks around the bridge.
You think I'm not gonna get my own hotel room?
Why don't you let us pay for it?
I was planning on letting you do that anyway.
Okay, as long as we're on the same page. Yeah, we'll be taking a hotel.
All right. Well, I can send a little bit of information to your ship if you'd like to, of the rooms that are available at the various establishments closest to the airport. Or are you trying to get further away from the spaceport? Some that have absolutely beautiful views, but there's a little bit of a walk, I'm afraid.
Well, what would you recommend if you're staying here?
Depends on if this is business or pleasure.
A little bit of both.
Well, the Grand Casino does have a few rooms, and it's always interesting there. Well, of course, if you get to the west side of the building, you have a view of the track at almost all times of day. However, it is a little bit noisy and a little bit busy. There is the marquee, which is right on the edge of the city. You can see the jungle and the river. It has some of the best views and some of the largest rooms, but it is further away from the entertainment establishments.
If you will look around at the others on the bridge, try to gauge how they are feeling about these.
Kane shrugs and just goes, I could probably make any of those work so long as they have a bed and a place where I can stretch my leg.
Probably not too close to the casino would be good. You want to have some kind of seclusion, right?
Well, maybe a bit. I guess it is better to work on paperwork in quiet. At least that's what they tell me. If you will turn back. How about this marquee situation? Let's try that out. That sounds nice.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to send all the information your way. Anything in particular you would like information on otherwise in this area, or have you already researched it?
What do we want to know?
That a kind of receptionist welcome person would be able to give you.
Yeah, because it's like we could ask after specific people, but
I doubt that a
I think it's
receptionist
more so
would have like a specific
brochures.
person.
Yeah, brochures for attractions in the area.
yeah, brochures would be good.
Sorry, I meant more like that's probably what she's got to offer.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but that's fine. That gives us a lot more time to look around and a lot less time to figure out what to ask. Just give us all the brochures you got. Fuck it.
One of everything, please.
Upload a copy to my data pad.
Yeah, if we'll be like, you know what? Let's make this nice and easy on you. I can tell you work really hard. How's about you just send us all the brochures, and we'll contact you if we have any questions.
And there's like a little head tilt from her, but that kind of placid customer smile stays on. Of course. Just give me 1 second. You see her like kind of tapping on the data pad, and then you first get this ding from the ship of a received data package that if any of you want to hook up to the ship and pull up a data pad is the Marquis Hotel at first. And then there is immediately followed by that another set of data packages. One about the Grand Casino, one about a dance club, one about the shopping district, though I will go ahead and tell you this is high fashion shopping district, like luxury shopping district, not like weapons and all that type of stuff. And then you see one about the track that is attached to the Grand Casino, but seems to be run by a separate person. And then there is a amusement or entertainment park that is seemingly tucked into the side of the mountain on one side of the city.
After looking cursory glance through everything, if you will look back up. Yeah, see, ain't that so much easier? Thank you so much. You know what? This place kind of reminds me of home. This is going to be a great trip. I can already tell.
There's a slightly more genuine smile that you can see on this woman. She gives a little nod. I certainly hope so. And if you need any further help or need any directions to anything or help setting up anything, feel free to give me a call. And she will send in her contact information to you. And it's just simply marked Ellie.
Oh, thank you.
Enough.
Yeah.
You get the very you are more than smart enough, Iffy, that and you've been to places similar to this. Not exactly this place or not exactly this vibe, 100%, but you get the very distinct impression that if she's able to help you get like book things, she's getting some sort of cut.
Of course. Obviously. Continuing to sip very peacefully on her calf. If he's like, oh, you know, that's my sister's name. Ain't that a coincidence?
And there's this like blink. Oh, that is certainly a coincidence. You don't see a lot of the same names across the galaxy.
Sure is a big galaxy, but it's a pretty common name still. Like I said, it feels just like home.
Ah, yes, the twin sisters, Iphigenia and Ellie.
Well, her name's Electra.
And the lady just kind of nods. Well, if there's anything else, feel free to reach out to me, and make sure to keep your ship in tip-top shape and as safe as possible. And she'll just kind of give us a little nod and turn and start walking away.
If he takes a breath, lets out a happy little sigh, and just, wasn't that easy?
Simple enough. So, what's the play now? Do we head to our rooms, I suppose, and kind of unwind? Or do we just get on the ground and kind of hit the ground running with this?
Well,
Did we get our casino outfits ready?
I assume not, because there's no mall in the ship.
I mean, there's Iffy's wardrobe, so.
It's close enough.
Except everything is white.
In that case, Alexa goes over to Kane. Do you have a casino outfit?
Don't fuck.
Kane, like, just kind of, it makes like a thoughtful grimace a little bit, and just kind of goes, I've got nice clothes. That's
Nice.
casino-y, right?
Nice in what way?
Like a fancy shirt. It's simple, unobtrusive, just a straight, simple black shirt with like a
Show
fancy
me.
collar.
Go,
Right
show
now?
me. Yes,
Are we
right
going
now.
to the casino?
We're making sure you're prepared.
He'll like hobble to his room, and he just shows you what ostensibly is just like a very, very simple black asymmetrical button-down shirt. Like it goes across the chest from right to left. It's a little, like, not quite admiral vibe, because there's no medals or anything on it. There's no military thing to it, but the cut is very similar-ish.
Violet
like,
looks at you
"Oh."
up and down. I'm sorry, officer, you forgot your badge.
I
You
don't.
don't need special outfits to go to a casino.
Looks over to you. I'm sorry, Jedi, you forgot your badge. Look, I know you two don't really care about like the whole appearance thing, but you two are going to stick out like a sore thumb. If you don't look like you're into the casino to own the casino, you're going to get looks. And not in the, oh, they're wonderful looks, in the, oh, what are the cops doing here?
Listen, I won't stick out like a sore thumb. I just won't attract attention. I dress discreetly to not attract attention. Dark
He
colors,
looks over
unobtrusive
at Ivy.
clothing.
And to be fair to Kane, with what he has described for Star Wars, it is very much it would not be fashionable, but it would not be attention grabbing either. It would be more along the lines of being able to slip in and out almost with the help or with an attendant type vibe, which, as he is currently the bodyguard for Iffy, is appropriate.
Okay. So Violet will look over and like, you know, okay, I'll give you a solid 7 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it'll pass. Turns her attention to Kana.
You guys literally bought me a coat before we started this mission. I'll just wear that.
You're gonna have to describe the coat to me because I completely forgot what we bought you.
It was a very fancy coat.
Mm-hmm. It was a fancy coat. It was a coat that, again, not the height of fashion. It'd probably be very clearly kind of a couple years out of date, or, you know, a couple planets or systems out of date. But works as being nice.
Okay, I suppose that'll deal. Just make sure to wear a smile. Got it?
Sure.
Wait, you went,
Doing a
you
great
went
job already.
You went shopping?
A while ago at this point.
Well, we didn't know you at the time, or else, of course, we would have taken you.
Right.
I don't mind going shopping with Tia.
Do you need an outfit?
I'm sure I can throw something together. Depending on what I've got left.
Well, Iffy, you have a very extensive wardrobe. Could you lend something?
Oh, I'd
I don't
be
know
more
how
than
sizes
happy to.
work.
We would have to get it taken in for tailoring. This is a little bit of a size difference, but I'm always willing to share.
I don't think Tia would look good in white is the issue.
Typically black's and things some of my color. Gestures to her hair.
Nods in agreement.
Gestures to her hair. I do appreciate the offer, though. I'm just still revealing that the corner went shopping without me.
It wasn't by choice.
Still. You know, we have to fix that at some point.
Oh, honey, I've tried.
I mean, if you want to get something here, I could comment if you'd like.
Just gonna just reach over, grab Kana's hand. Like, grab one of Kana's hands with both of her hands. Just like, really? Do you promise? You're going to comment and not just say it's fine over and over again? You're going to give opinions?
Whoa, you're asking a little too much of her. She said that jokingly, of course.
It would be pretty miraculous.
I have opinions, okay? I mean, yes, I would comment, okay? I'll say more than just it's fine.
Holds up, fucking squeezes Kana's hand. Just like, all right then. When can we do this?
Well, when we have some free time, right? Couldn't we kind of scout out this place?
I mean,
Go
we
to
got
the
time
rooms.
until casino. The casino's open, unless it's an all like a 24-hour casino, which I doubt. Looks
It-
the
it-
DM.
Is a 24-hour casino. However, you would know that there would be kind of an ebb and flow, like with any casino. It is busiest. It would be busiest during race times, which they have a smaller race around noon, around lunchtime, and then they have a series of races every evening.
Yeah, I mean, we got time to. What time is it actually? I guess I should just ask that.
It would be roughly around lunch, a little after lunch, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock ish.
Okay, so I was looking at this like brochure about like the tracks and stuff. Well, it looks like we missed our evening, or not our evening. We missed our noon race. So next one's in the evening. Got a couple hours till then.
That gives us time to set up in the rooms and then do maybe a bit of preliminary reconnaissance. Looking to Iffy to be like, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. I mean, we did come here for a
Someone's
reason.
knocking on our door.
Oh.
And I will remind you that there was a contact person
Yep.
of some sort that works at the casino.
Waiting for Piper to come back. I figure.
Mhm. I was just going to throw that out there in case anybody forgot.
I forgot.
Well, you were not there.
I never knew. It's almost like foregoing.
Who was the contact? Did we have a name or just like a description?
We had a name, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's Lily Kai.
Right.
And you have a vague description. It's a Cathar woman.
Fuck does a Cathar look like?
A
Cathar
cat.
is a cat person, essentially.
Yeah, it's a cat.
But it is less cat like tabaxi, more like humanoid. And we lost Amy.
It sure seems so.
Amy,
all gonna
no.
We're all gonna drop one by one. It'll be like Saw.
Hi, sorry about that. I had like a weird like static shock in my ear.
It is weird. Your
Yeah.
headphones okay?
Yeah, I don't know. There's like I don't know. I think I'm fine. It just like it felt weird and it tickled rather than hurted.
No,
So-
that's good.
Yeah. That was just what the fuck?
That was one of the ows where you just say ow because you feel something and not because it hurts.
I felt something and I don't like it.
Especially
So
in
I
your
said,
ear, it's
"Ow."
just weird.
Yeah. Fucking weird.
All good, Piper?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry about that.
No
Well, since
worries.
Joe didn't say it, wrong campaign.
Oh.
So, if you will think for a moment, again, sipping from her calf. Well, we did have a contact we were supposed to talk to, but, you know, I really wouldn't want to miss Kana getting a new outfit.
Wait,
Okay.
what? Whoa, I didn't say I was gonna get a new outfit. I was gonna help you.
Oh, you didn't? That's what I heard.
Oh, but Connie, I could pick you out another outfit.
Another?
You were there for the last one.
Oh, well, I thought
Well,
she meant another, like she had done it before.
well, obviously I have.
Well, yes, but that's not important.
But you know that certain colors look great on you, and I like finding those for you. So please, pretty please, like leaning closer into Kana's face. Again, heads about to make contact with hers, just like butting into her face, like
We'll
please,
see,
like,
okay? We'll see. We'll see. If there's something that's particularly nice, maybe.
Well, a place like this, there's always going to be something that's perfectly nice if you look enough.
I am
Like-
an expert at finding things that are perfectly nice.
Kana gives iffy at look that says, "You're not helping."
Plus, if you do buy something here, I mean, well, firstly, we'd be covering it for you, but it is tax deductible.
oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. Anytime that we're buying clothes for somebody who's, in the company, it's a tax write off. You gotta keep up appearances. All you gotta do is do a job in the outfit.
Wait,
Right.
what company?
What do you mean, what company? Our company? Well, one of them. Don't.
My Alexa pulls out like a laptop with like a shell company she wrote for the game. Everybody. This one.
What?
Iffy LLC.
It has like photoshopped pictures of everybody with like fake names, like on our prize employee.
Jesus Christ, Joe.
Kana, are you telling me in that fancy Jedi school, they don't teach you how to properly manage your money?
Well, okay, managing money is fine, but this is a bit much.
What are you talking? Much?
None of this is illegal.
This is the bare minimum for any company.
My Alexa nods in agreement.
Kane scratches the back of his head and just goes, "Yeah, it is actually astonishingly clean, all things considered. I did a lot of my preliminary research to make sure that it was buttoned up tightly, and it kind of was before I even got to it."
It's perfectly legal. Shady as fuck, but perfectly legal.
Oh, I've never done anything shady in my life.
I've known you for like a week, enough to call bullshit.
Call it if you want. I'm a woman of sterling character. I mean, they don't just give ambassadorships to anybody.
I'm pretty sure they give ambassadorships to the shady people.
Now, what would that imply about our political society if that were true?
That it's a corrupt cesspit.
A cesspit? Do you think I'd be caught dead near a cesspit?
But it would be a sterling cesspit.
Well, now that just doesn't make any sense. Have you seen what happens to silver when it's exposed to acid?
They got silver polish for that sort of thing.
Silver polish is a base!
You know what they say about solid bases.
Well, I do know a thing or two about bases.
But are we going to
We
meet the
do.
informant, or aren't we? Because we do have someone here who is supposed to meet, right? Like, I'm not
Right.
imagining that.
Who exactly are we meeting? I'm a bit behind on the loop. After the
Well-
loop, I think it's the phrase.
Well, we're looking for a character here, a Kathar, named Lily Kai. Seems to work at this joint. Might know something about the whole Bacta situation. So, we should get to that. It is important.
What do we know about this Lily Kai?
Just,
Probably
I
not
think
much.
it's not very much at all. Maybe they might know something about what happened with the doctor. We do think they might be involved with some of this, at least the Bacta nonsense. I mean, so we do gotta track him down.
Yeah.
Maybe. Here's an idea. As we're checking in, we can see if anybody at that hotel knows her.
That'd be a little too suspicious.
You think so?
We got this information on the ship, right?
You mean, like, do we have, like, a data pack with it, or?
Or like, where did we hear this contact's
We
name?
got it from Lissy, didn't we?
Yeah. So Lissy,
Got it from
when
Lissy.
when y'all left, she gave essentially 2 bits of information to everybody. One was I know that this doctor has something. He has contacted me. He has been a contact for a long time. And then the second part of the information was, my sources have met with a contact that I really don't know a lot about, but she is talking about something. She's talking about the Bacta. So go look at them, go look at this, go meet her, go see what she is saying, or see who she knows, because she might have a lead, but I don't know a lot about her. So that's part of the reason why you guys, the choice was made to go to the doctor first, because you knew that he was a solid lead, and also seemed to have a kind of time-pressing situation. Where this is a little bit more of a questionable lead, Lissy doesn't really know a whole bunch. It's more of the, like, initial contact between people who know people.
Okay. So you can see Violexa doing some mental math in her head, and she's like tapping her finger against the side. Okay, Miss Sterling Ambassador, how long do you think it would take for you to get known in the dirtier parts?
It depends. Depends how many games I can fit in and how I do in them. Maybe an hour or 2.
Think if we can establish you as a shadier rep, get you into contact with her that way. Might be more willing to part with some information if she thinks that you're a potential buyer.
That's assuming that she's a dirty contact herself, ain't it?
Sounds like it.
I'm willing to give it a shot. I guess I'd need a new outfit for that, too.
I mean, nothing
Kane
in your
just, like-
wardrobe screams Fen Fatale. You?
Kane just like face palms for a second, just goes, "That is just one of the weaker excuses you've used."
If he looks over at Cade and takes a moment to consider and goes, "Do you really think so?"
You can do better. You can do better. I've seen you do better.
And if we need sterling reputation, we got those 2. Points to Kana and Kane.
I'll have you know, I've done a sterling job at keeping my reputation nowhere.
Okay, never mind. We have third. We have the neutral party.
He goes to protest and then just thinks about it, nods his head, and just goes, "Yeah, no, that's right."
Tia's just wondering, I wonder where I fit in all this. She's an
course.
unknown to everyone except Kana.
And Iffy at this point.
Of course, if I was going into the shadier parts of town, I would need some shady company now, wouldn't I? Kane doesn't
Violexa
exactly.
just holds her arms out like, huh? Huh?
You want to come along, Vi? Is that what you're saying?
I came up with the idea, didn't I? Let's go be bad.
Shady company? Really?
Come on, Tia, let's go be bad together.
If you will look at Tia and go, I don't know, you don't really strike me as a very shady type.
Didn't you just accuse her of cheating and gambling like a week ago?
Well, because she did.
I wouldn't say that I cheated. I just think that maybe I just got a bit lucky that time. And I wouldn't exactly call myself shady. That's a matter of opinion, isn't it?
It does depend. You think you're shady enough to come along?
It depends. To move my calendar around. I might be able to make room for it. How many of us would be going? Are we dressing those two up as shady or not? I'd like to see that happen.
I don't
be
think the
funny.
pink one would. I think the pink one would retch at the idea of becoming shady.
She does look like a cop.
I'm telling you.
She's just got cop energy.
I know. I just thought I'd throw the idea out there. I think it'd be entertaining.
It
No.
would be fun.
We do need somebody that looks pristine.
Well,
Who
it's
knows?
sneaky
We might
for
need
that.
to use her good Jedi vibes.
Actually, I just had an idea.
Oh no.
I'm listening.
Concern.
Hey, Kana. How would you like to
Yes?
be Ambassador Fell?
Whoa, 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 whoa. What?
They don't know what I look like. Most people have never met a Haven.
I think she
Ain't-
can't lie to save her skin is the issue.
Oh, you're right. But it
Oh.
would make things easier, though.
That would be
On the
very
one
entertaining.
hand, it could work to preserve your identity a little bit longer so that you could get a little bit more information. You could be pointing to Iffy.
Especially,
You could
Sorry.
be like an advisor or something. I could still be the bodyguard, obviously. And
no, you'd have to be a bodyguard for Iffy. And she says that in quotation marks.
oh yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And well, he points to the actual Iffy and says like, and you could speak on her behalf in many situations, and then you wouldn't technically have to lie. We could just kind of speak for you or around you.
Oh,
That
so
would
one
pull
of
up
those
too much.
ambassadors.
That would bring too much suspicion. She's not a queen.
Well, not yet, anyway.
I do know a bit of Haven.
Iffy
Really?
visibly shocked.
Give us your best, Kana.
Wait.
We need to see if it's legitimate. I'm not trying to harass you here. Show us.
Yeah, if he will also switch to Haven and just be like, "Are you pulling my leg here?"
Come on,
Oh,
Ars. Let's see your
Swan.
bustin'.
I am not going to do
No,
a
you gotta.
fucking
You gotta.
accent.
Oh my
gotta.
god, it'd be so good
No.
though.
You gotta.
No.
You gotta.
Iris,
You gotta.
please,
Aw.
please,
Oh, you
Come
gotta
on,
do
Iris.
it. Come on.
He's
Come on,
so
come on.
funny.
No.
You gotta.
Please.
Everybody
One
knows
time.
that the Haven speak in Bostonese. Like, if you're not speaking in Bostonese, you're not a Haven.
No.
Come on, Iris.
You don't have to, but it
No, you
would
don't
be
have to.
very, very fun.
Here's the thing, right? I find it so funny if we just like that Hapen is just accent in this game.
Isn't that how you do languages in any TTRPG?
It's like the SpongeBob episode, you know, with the. Hi.
Yeah.
You do not have to, but we would all love to see it.
I'm not going to.
Okay,
Fair
understandable.
and valid.
But
Very
she'll
valid.
respond, no, I am not pulling your leg. It's a little rusty, but I kind of imagine it's very like, you know how when someone is learning English they use like proper nouns and kind of things, you know, like it sounds a little off.
Overly proper and just a little too slow.
Yeah.
No conjunctions.
So Iffy is visibly surprised, right? But then she grins, right? And in the thickest, most like dock worker ass Twi'lek you've ever heard. She's like, Man, don't you sound like you just came out of a novel?
Little surprised. She's like, oh, well, at least we can communicate to each other in private, she says in Haven.
If you... Oh, go on. No.
Go. No.
After you.
Okay. I was saying, just to continue the gag, Violoxa and Mary Allen says, wow, they know a lot of languages.
Is Mirialan a language?
It is. Miriel is a language.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't because like the Wikipedia doesn't have it listed. I assumed it wasn't a language.
You can
Same.
It's on the Mirialan page.
you can kind of assume with Star Wars that there is either a language for or some sort of like sub-dialect for near about every planet.
Okay, cool.
Because they would have to talk to each other before they
Yeah.
entered into spacefaring, so
Mm-hmm.
there is some sort of either full-on language or some sort of like branch dialect of a larger language for most species and planets.
So are you updating what languages Kane knows?
I am making a note because I decided with Z what languages Kane knows, and I'm making a note of which ones he can speak and which ones he can't speak but can understand. And I did this without telling you, Kira, but I assume that he knew or he did not know Hapen, but you taught him Hapen over the course of time.
I like that. That's very cute.
So
I
that
like that.
he could blend in a little bit. And you know his Haven is like passing. It's not natural. It's definitely someone who learned the language, but he can speak it and understand it.
They'll just be impressed an outsider dude learned it.
Um,
I
but
like that idea, though. I think that's very cute.
yeah, and at Vialexa speaking Mirialan, he like blinks for a second and then just like does like a head shake and a double take motion and just goes, "You speak Mirialan?"
Well, yeah.
Oh, like pleasantly surprised.
Tia joined in Mary Allen. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah.
Right now I have
Language
to make
swap.
I have to make this like official, so if you guys are gonna pull this fucking gag on me, I need
Here's
a
the thing.
list. I need a list from each of you of what you
I
can
already
speak
got a
and
list.
what you can like understand and not speak. You'll put those in
got
your
it.
character channels.
I can copy and paste my list if you'd like. I have it. It was a character question.
It was a character question.
It
Yeah,
was,
and it's on
but
my.
you guys now it's everybody is going to have to officialize this shit since you've made this a thing.
God, Z, it was just for the gag.
Nope. This is now a mechanic.
Hell yeah. I love language mechanics.
I hate language mechanics.
Oh wait.
There's no comprehend language spells. I can't get around it.
That's like the best time to have them
Since
because
you
it's
can
not.
get a
It's like
droid,
Yeah, you can get a droid or a universal translator. It's very expensive, but it's there.
Okay.
yeah, Tech had one of those.
hmm It works to varying degrees. Varying success.
There you go. Copy and pasted it.
there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, let's find the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Just
Anyway.
like, fun little aside. Or just like, oh, you know this language? No way.
Look, all you'd have to do is be Ambassador Fell for a couple hours while you're unpacking and whatnot, so I'm visibly not there. You know, I've got an alibi, so I can go do all of the shady stuff that I've never done before.
I'm rolling this for my sake, but Kane, in a weird, in a very unusual turn of events, like smirks and shrugs and just goes, and I mean, it would be kind of fun.
Wouldn't it? You get to borrow one of my fancy
Fine.
outfits. Of course. I mean, if we are going to a shady part of town, I would need some protection if Ambassador Fell's bodyguard is going off over in the other direction.
Well, I'm pretty sure my ability with the blaster is well known. I could step in.
I have a bow.
Like, look at that. I feel safer already.
Lana is eyeing the two of them.
You know, what we could do? We could get you like a hat with those little fishnet veils to cover your face.
Oh, I
You
have
get
one
like
of
a sign?
those.
I'm not
That
surprised.
tracks.
That screams mobster.
Mobster? Mobster? That's such a dirty word, isn't it?
But
Mobster.
We're going to a dirty place, though.
I prefer to think of myself as an independent businesswoman.
Okay, no, you're not an independent woman. You're a mobster today. No pristine, dirty.
Do
Like,
I
you
gotta
understand it.
say the word? There's no elegance to
You
it.
gotta say the word. You think
I
somebody?
mean, just say it out loud. Mobster. I mean, it just...
Well, if you do it with that accent, yeah, you can go mobster. There you go.
What accent? I don't have an accent.
The entire room snorts.
The droid snorts from over in the corner.
Kane snorts and then like puts a hand over his mouth and like just wipes his nose like, sorry, something in my throat.
What are you
Yes,
talking about?
No, of course you don't have an accent. Why would you?
Exactly. I put all that time into learning basic. I speak very good basic.
It's the best basic I've ever heard. There's no accent at all.
Exactly right. You've never heard an accent.
No, never.
Don't I sound like I was born on Coruscant?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt you for a second.
As long as I have your vote of confidence, I'm sure I'll be able to pass through any storm as an independent businesswoman.
Storm.
That's how you say the word.
It's storm.
S-
Stole?
If he stops and she just... You can see the cogs going as she opens her mouth. Storm. 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 I'm not hearing a difference.
Let's
My mistake.
go to the rooms and then meet our informant, please. We've kind of just fiddled around here, and we have a place to be.
Oh, we're walking on our way there. We're not just standing. It's still in one place. That'd be stupid.
Okay, as long as
You
it was said
guys
out loud.
you guys have been arguing in fucking Iffy's bedroom because nobody
Yeah.
even indicated that you have left the fucking ship.
Now we're talking and walking. Thank goodness that we were reminded to talk and walk at the same time. Whew.
I
Lots to
imagine
keep
that
in
like we
mind.
were all getting ready to leave, like like we were. Well, when you're like getting your shoes and your coat and shit, grabbing your bag, and you're like in the hallway about to walk out. That's the spot we were all in, and we just stayed there. It's like, oh yeah, we gotta go. Right. Walk, leave. We just stood in the hallway for like 15 minutes.
Well, you guys head out of the ship and out of the spaceport. The spaceport is interesting. So you kind of move through it. You quickly realize that it is partially built into the mountain. And so it is capable of storing and kind of providing a place to park a lot of ships. Yours is probably one of the bigger ones that they would be able to comfortably park there. But it's able to have a lot of ships touch down with very kind of minimal space requirements, at least visible space requirements when you're approaching. And as you move through the spaceport, you can see all types of people, all different species walking around, and there are immediately noticeable advertisements everywhere for different restaurants and shops and games and things to do in the city, and a couple of them that seem to be larger planet-wide things like tours and hiking and things like that. And you also see very noticeably that this city seems to at least be, if not based on, very focused on racing and that track. As even in the spaceport, you all can see stats and odds for the list of mounts that are being raced. And very visibly there, and also a couple of places you're walking through some of the larger terminal areas, terminals that you can go to and actually place bets on the racing specifically. And once you exit the spaceport into kind of the grand walkway through the center of the city that connects most of the other roads, you can see most of the people there seem to be walking or in kind of smaller, almost, what's the, I forget what the name of it is. You know,
Swoop bikes?
not swoop bikes, like real world, like when somebody is, you know, like on a bike and you're like being pulled behind the bike.
Right?
Not
Oh god, why am I
carriage.
forgetting the word?
Like you see-
Rickshaw.
Rickshaw, yeah. It's kind of rickshaws that are around. Of it is attached to a like parts of a swoop bike, not meant to go very fast, but somebody driving the bike part where there's between 2 and 6 people being pulled in kind of a covered sleigh behind. And they're hovering about, you know, 1.5 to 2 feet off the ground. You also see a couple of unique looking creatures that people seem to be riding, and a couple that are pulling kind of carriage things. But nobody seems to be in a particularly big rush, and you all are smart enough to realize they want you to go slow and they want you to walk places so that you see the businesses. You're forced to go past restaurants and smell the food and see the window shopping opportunities and hear the ringing of slot machines in various buildings and in various entryways. So it is very much designed to be a place to kind of squeeze as much money out as possible. And along those lines, you do see that the people that are around you seem to be presenting themselves, at the very least, as being a little wealthier. The people that are walking around you have all of them pretty much in tailored clothes, very high quality clothes, various levels of fashion, from what the more fashion inclined in the group would know is like, oh, that's 2 or 3 years out of date, to some kind of bleeding edge fashion. But all of them are presenting themselves as such, presenting themselves to be inclined towards such things, though Iffy and Vialexa in particular, you can see a couple of them as you walk a little bit closer, and they pass you. Very clearly knockoffs. But they're trying.
Disgusting.
And the information that you have about the Marquis leads you in the opposite direction of the Grand Casino. It leads you towards the very edge of the town, and you see that the Marquis is actually built into 2 or 3 of these spire-like rock formations. You can see the windows actually carved in to the sides of these spires. Kind of like if you zoom in on like these over here. That's what it looks like from the outside. With a couple of circular or semicircular balconies and other pieces of the hotel itself placed on the outside edge of the spires so that you are looking out over and into the jungles that slope away from the city. There's only a handful of windows and balconies facing into the city proper. And as you enter into the lobby area, you're greeted by a interesting vibe where it's very clear that the Marquis is trying to balance a luxury feel, but also trying to embrace kind of a naturey vibe. Everything is stone and carved out, but not rustic, actually delicately carved out, where you have, rather than standard artworks that you see in a lot of the galaxy, or hollow art or hollow statues, actual statues that have been carved, and scenery that has been carved into the side of the rock instead of hanging a portrait. And all of the furniture inside is very lushly upholstered and not overly gaudy. It's meant very clearly to be kind of this refined comfort rather than over the top. And it doesn't take too much effort to secure a couple of rooms. However, they are rooms that only 2 of the rooms connect to each other. They're on the same floor, but only 2 of the rooms are able to connect to each other because there was not a prior reservation. So, I need from y'all, I need to know what the room situation is.
Everyone separate?
Everyone separate, or some people sharing? Who's in the the joining rooms?
I don't. Does it affect mechanics, or is this just like a placement?
It might affect mechanics.
It's much like marching order.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is for if we get ambushed, who's in the conjoining room?
Mm-hmm.
Zap.
Okay.
In that case, Kane and Iffy should be in the
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody in individual rooms, or is anybody wanting to share?
I mean, I'll share with somebody, but I doubt.
I mean, Kane, if you're in the conjoining rooms, that leaves the last 3 ladies. Tia would want to share with Kana, because why not?
Sleepover.
But it's a sleepover, right? But also, it's fine if you guys just wanted to do individual rooms. But Tia would prefer to share a room with Kana. Purely on the, oh my god, it's a sleepover. It's been
So
forever.
I have a thought.
Mhm.
Are we actually going with this freaking playing Kana off as Iffy?
I don't know. I don't know how the logistics are. I tried to pass
Give
off as
her the
Violet.
penthouse.
Well,
Trying to
I was
pass
actually,
Twi'lek off as
I
Haven.
was, yeah, that's why I'm like, but I was gonna say maybe Iffy and Kana should share if we are doing something like that.
Because that means they're both in the same room.
Mhm.
And yeah, I could see that.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Yep. So Iffy and Connor in the same room then, and then everybody else in solos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
Iffy and Kana in one room, Kane next door, Vialexa in one direction, Tia in the other.
Yep. Sounds good.
So you get to the rooms themselves are much like the lobby, where it is stone for the most part, stone floor, stone wall, stone ceiling, very carefully carved out artwork and shelves and closet space. The only exception to this kind of naturalistic aesthetic that they are trying to have throughout the hotel is essentially the bathroom area, which is completely modern, completely sleek, white, spotless in every single room. And the balcony area where you are able to kind of step out and have just a decent sized balcony where there's like a chair and table that overlooks the jungle. And if it wasn't for the sounds of the city from the other side of the hotel and the sights of ships coming and going still, you wouldn't know that you are in a city, that you are that close to a city, because of the angle and the very careful way that they have set up this hotel to look out over the jungle. It feels, if it were not for the sounds and the ships, very much like you are right on the edge of wilderness, that you are out in wilderness itself almost. And as apparently word has already spread that there is a dignitary that was looking at the marquee, when Kana and Iffy enter into the room, you do see a gift basket has already been placed on the table. And it has a very nice, not overly expensive at the moment, but a nice wine and some chocolates that have just been left there with a note of welcome from the hotel.
If he immediately opens the wine and pours herself some.
Well, word travels fast, doesn't it?
Sure does. But you know, I do like getting this treatment. Do you want some? Get into character. The chocolates look pretty good.
I'll try a bit of the chocolate, I guess. If you don't mind. I mean, it is for you.
No, it's for you today.
Slight grimace.
Iffy will hand Kana both a glass of wine and the chocolates.
So we're really going with this plan then.
It does open me up a little bit, don't you think?
True.
Besides, don't you think it'd be fun? You'd never wanted to be anybody else?
I can't say the thought has crossed my mind.
That's all the more reason you should give it a shot. Just don't go sullying my good name.
We'll try not to. Definitely not the goal. In all honesty, I might just stay in the room.
You don't want to take advantage of any of these nice benefits? I'm telling you, you could get food wherever you want in this town just by throwing around the title.
I'm not just gonna throw around the title, though.
But isn't it better for the mission if people know I'm here? Maybe they'll come looking for you, and you can do whatever that force stuff is. Maybe get us some leads.
A good point. I'll try. And where are you gonna go exactly?
Oh, I got no idea. We'll figure it out. Probably the casino. And from the casino cantina, figure out where it is business is done in a place like this. To figure out an outfit, though. Maybe I should wear. No. I can't wear pants.
I mean, I think you look pretty good in them.
You don't think they look a little boxy?
I mean, someone like you could totally pull it off.
If he raises a brow. You think so? You really think so?
Well, everyone seems to think you have a great fashion sense, and I kind of agree.
You know, I am saying that. If he says, she clinks her wine glass against. Look, you're already getting the hang of this diplomacy thing. Look at you go!
He makes a face of just like, it's not what I was trying to do. She'll take a sip of the wine and a small piece of chocolate.
Okay, so what are we doing from here? Because y'all threw out a lot of shit in a lot of different directions, and I don't know what I'm supposed to send y'all towards now.
I think what the plan, from what I'm hearing, the bits and pieces that are scattered, is that Kane and Kana stay at the hotel / go out with Kana pretending to be Iffy and make appearances as as Ambassador Felt, while the other three go looking for some shady peoples to talk with.
It's a good
Yep.
plan.
That's how I understand it, too.
We search
Yeah.
high while they search low.
Mm-hmm. We go make an appearance at a nice restaurant, take advantage of the food, but also restaurants are where people talk.
It's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you guys were able to settle into the hotel for a little bit, stretch your legs, enjoy being planet-side again, and was not anticipating a split party. Evens were going with the Jedis. Odds were going with the shady crew. Jedi first.
Fuck.
Eyes emoji.
So, I imagine if he takes a little bit of time to try and help kind of look and act the part. Correct?
Of course.
So, Kana has gotten a very much a crash course on how to quote unquote behave like an ambassador. Though at the same time, she's been kind of trained and been around ambassadors before. Because that's kind of where she was pointed as a Padawan. It's like, you go deal with that. You're better at that stuff. So it's not out of the realm of knowledge for her. I just never had to play that part before. And there's a point made to make sure that you are wearing your coat, your nice coat, and this has been pressed and freshly cleaned and all of that good stuff. Where do you want... Well, actually, Kana and Kane will, I assume, meet before they head out.
Correct.
So, meet and discuss where you guys are going so I can know where you're going. Help your DM
Casino
out.
floor? That's where my brain goes.
Yeah, that works. I've got nothing, my dude.
You're not helpful.
Where
Sorry.
did that? What
The
did you
casino
do?
floor.
Oh, casino. Okay.
Yeah. So, like, wander around, maybe, like, look at the games, play a slot machine, just peruse.
Alright. So you leave the hotel and start heading towards the Grand Casino. And again, the Grand Casino is kind of other side of the city. Go back towards the main street that connects one end to the other. And start heading down it. And this, again, the casino seems to take up the lower floors of this tall building, or at least the tallest in the city. And as soon as you enter, let me see here. Shift this.
So, I do have a question. Are we assumed to be walking around with weaponry? Because Kane has the Reek Blade.
Essentially, what happens, because I was about to get there.
Gotcha.
When you come to the casino itself and go up the stairs towards the main entryway, which is more just a giant archway. You can see inside is just decked with gold and red, essentially. There is no effort towards the naturalistic setting of the outside buildings or of the hotel. It is decadence inside. And likewise, everybody inside is in fineries, and just about everybody seems to be holding drinks or some sort of food or something like that. They are indulging themselves. And as you come up to this archway and try to like move past the front desk area, there's a couple of guards that you see, all dressed in heavy, dark uniforms that you can tell by how they move and how they carry themselves, even though they look vaguely tuxedo-esque. They are likely padded or armored somehow. And as you come closer, the guards kind of step forward, looking you both over. And one of them just flatly kind of looks at Kana. I'm assuming you have tried to hide your lightsaber. If you are acting as Iffy.
Yeah.
Did you try to hide it, or did you leave it in the hotel?
You know, it's a good thing
Yeah,
there's
you could
another person.
cascade.
Yeah, I was saying it's a good thing there's another person here who could use it. And that's exactly what she asked for him to hold on to it.
Okay. So Kane is holding on to it. That was probably a conversation.
Yep.
So the guards look you both over, and one kind of steps forward towards Kana first with a scanner to scan for weapons. And that is the only weapon that Kana has, if I remember correctly.
Yep, I do not have any other weapons.
So you come off clean immediately. Give me your list, Joe.
So Kane would, if he is
Up like a fucking Christmas tree.
if he is being given a lightsaber, he no longer has his own lightsaber, but he still has a lightsaber. He no longer has the lightsaber pistol hilt. He would have the reek blade, but honestly, if he was given the lightsaber to hold on to, he would leave the reek blade behind and just carry Kana's lightsaber, which probably was a lot heavier for him than it seemed to be.
She didn't trust going into this without a weapon. And she can't have a weapon on her.
Okay.
No, that's a good point.
So between the two of you, there is only a lightsaber.
Only the one lightsaber.
Okay. The guard steps forward, scans Kana, and the second one is kind of still staying a couple of feet back, just kind of watching and observing, and looks between the two of you, and then his eyes focus on Kane. As I'm assuming Kane is trying very much to be the bodyguard. And he just like holds up a hand and starts counting on his fingers. No blasters, no bombs, no explosives. If you cause a problem, one warning, and I kick both of you out.
Kane will nod very understandingly and say, "You don't need to worry about us."
And there's a single nod, and then it looks towards Kana. Kana, how you doing?
Kana's great. She's perfectly fine.
Uh-huh.
Totally not a bit stiff.
Roll me a cool at 2 purple.
Okay.
Hey!
Yeah.
The guard kind of looks you over, and there is a distinct difference that you notice, Kana, of you have spent a lot of, like, most of your life at this point as a Jedi. There's a difference in how people look at a Jedi versus look at others. There's a little bit more of this, that's a pretty lady look that you are not used to. But you kind of keep your composure and just kind of give him this expectant look. And you can see a smirk on his face. Cause any problems, and you will be banned from the casino. Continue to cause problems outside the casino, and you will be asked to leave the city.
Well, it's a good thing we don't plan on causing problems now, isn't it?
he just nods, and as the scan goes over, only picks up a single weapon that is very clearly not a blaster. The other guard does not seem to pay much mind. And just gives a nod to his compatriot, and they kind of look you both over again and then step aside, and the one that's been talking just kind of moves an arm in this kind of sweeping gesture to the inside of the casino. Welcome to the Grand Casino.
Thank you. And she'll step forward into the casino.
Ken will be right on their heels.
Yeah. Inside, again, it is decadence and indulgence is the words of the day and the words of this casino. Every table is manned by a droid of some sort or another, playing for the house. The almost every table is full. There's a couple of seats here and there at various sabacc tables or dice tables, but there is no table that is just sitting with one or two people. There's almost a full house on the tables. About half, a little over half of the slot machines and the other kind of gambling virtualized games are full. Again, with people sitting in chairs or kind of pacing in front as they are counting their chips and counting their credits. You even see in the far corner a few, looks to be kind of tactic games that are less about dice and cards, more about playing almost military strategy. There seem to be fewer people over there, and you can tell just cursory glance there's fewer credits involved. And to one side of the casino, as you go deeper in, you can see floor to ceiling windows facing out to the track outside. And it's essentially the entire side of the track is casino windows with stands to actually sit outside and watch the races on the opposite side of the track. So you can watch from luxury indoors where it's climate controlled and there is plenty of food and alcohol and other distractions if you want, or you can go outside and focus only on the race, though there is nobody on the track at the moment. There are waiters and waitresses wandering around offering drinks, offering to take orders, and you can see up on the second floor of the casino, on this balcony area kind of overlooking the games below, a bar and a restaurant kind of area.
Does when is the next race?
In the evening.
Yeah.
Evening.
Evening. It's still a good probably 2.5, 3 hours out. Would be the start of the series of races. Because again, there's one or two around noon. And then the big races happen in the evening. And there's several of them that happen back to back to back.
Hana kind of walks in and looks around and takes in the how busy it is and whatnot, and notices the casino, or not the casino, the restaurant above. How about lunch? How does that sound?
Sounds good to me. We can have a nice meal. It'll be good for cover.
Yeah.
Good work at the guard back there, too. You're natural at this.
I don't feel like I am. But thank you. At least this way they can kind of talk without it looking weird. So she'll head up to the restaurant.
Okay. So you head up to the restaurant, and a fairly young Togruta, female Togruta, kind of walks up to you. She is dressed in what's clearly a uniform, but it is very tight-fitting. Very much a show a little bit of skin, get an extra big tip type of uniform. You see all of the waiters and waitresses wearing such uniforms up on the second story. And she smiles brightly at the two of you. And what can I do for you? Table or bar?
Table. Table for
Sorry, go ahead.
two.
Yeah.
Okay. And she immediately nods and starts moving you guys towards a table. However, you see it's towards the back of the balcony, kind of more towards the wall. And it is relatively private. There's not a whole bunch of people sitting around. And it's this small black table with red, really plush red upholstered chairs to either side, and a little hollow flower bouquet that has been attached to the center of the table. But it doesn't really interfere or take up any space beyond just looking pretty. And she gets you both seated and hands you both a menu, the food, and a menu of alcohol, which is about twice, if not 3 times, the size of the menu of food.
Mm.
And she just smiles to both of you. I'll let you look over that. I'll be back in just a moment. And you see her kind of scurry off to another table.
When she scurries off, Kane will wait till she is very obviously out of earshot, and then he'll, like, do a quick glance left and right and say, like, okay, so we have to drop your names so that it starts to coalesce into a rumor and travel around the area. We want to make sure that you're seen here and people know you're seen here.
Mm-hmm. What kind of rumor do we want to get started? We didn't really discuss that.
It doesn't have to be any sort of specific thing, just the name has to be known. So we're looking to just name drop you. Once or twice, maybe 3 times, to someone who will share it. Waiters are a good start.
Okay. He kind of looks around the room, like not obviously, but kind of like glancing and think, is there anyone that seems a bit more important than others?
Roll me perception with 2 purple, 1 black. And you can roll this as well, Kane, if you would like.
Wait.
Gotta do 10 more squats.
You said
It said for each dice rolled, and these are like 5 die rolls.
shit. You said 2 purple, 1 black perception?
Yes. Yeah, are you meaning each die individually or each hand of dice?
I meant each die individually because I thought it would be like a very low roll session.
Oh, you dumb bitch! You're gonna
3,
die.
4, 5, 6, 7. What is that? 7 plus
You're going to die,
10,
my
20,
dude.
8,
30,
9, 10,
40,
11,
50,
12.
60, 70 push-ups in that one roll, Joe.
You're gonna either die or you're gonna be swole by the end of this.
His arms go hurt
140
tomorrow.
squats.
Man, we should have contacted Claire to get like video proof that this man's actually doing this.
We
It's
can
too
still
late.
message her.
Too late, yeah.
She is in bed.
Well, yeah, tomorrow. We'll
Oh,
just make
no.
him do this over the course of a week. That way we don't kill the Joe, but we make the Joe suffer, you know?
Guys, I
Oh.
gotta figure out some more ways to make you roll here. I forgot.
No, but
You can make him roll a chaos roll. Those are always fun. Luck check.
I already did that.
Luck checks!
So, Kana, you're looking around, and though you have been kind of trained to in an advisor role, you have been around ambassadors and senators and in the government buildings of Coruscant more times than you can count at this point. You look around and you don't immediately see anybody of that level. And all you see are well-dressed people in various states of being physically there, but questionably mentally there. Kane, as you're kind of scanning this room as well, at least the restaurant area, you're a little bit more familiar with the kind of shadier side of things. And what is and isn't out of place in places like this. And you immediately see two different people that, in your mind, look a little off from what you would expect. One is a... Fuck, why did I just forget the species name? Let me go remember the species, what it is. This is gonna piss me off. Yeah. To one end of this restaurant, you see a very tall, very broad, just kind of hulking figure. As you kind of squint a little bit, you recognize as a Dewutin, which, for context, ninth sister.
Oh.
How the fuck do you spell that?
Dowutin.
Dowutin.
Yes, a Dewutin.
D, not B.
Yes, D like dog.
Okay, thank you.
Like, damn.
In this Dewutin's on the far side of the restaurant, sitting at a table by themselves with a drink in a hand and a plate that looks like they have been eating or just finishing up eating, perhaps. But there's 2 or 3 glasses there as well, so they've been there for a minute. And they are distinctly not really talking to anybody, not really paying attention to anybody around them. Just kind of leaned back in their chair a little bit. Like they are perhaps a little more comfortable than you would expect somebody to be at a casino that they are visiting. And more interestingly, they are not in any dressed up clothing. They are in very clearly armored like merc type clothing. A long duster jacket and thick pants and boots. It is well kept, not dirty, not scuffed, not burnt or frayed on the edges like you are used to seeing with mercs. But it is very clearly a merc sitting over there that is not trying to play the game of looking fancy.
Interesting.
Towards the balcony area with a good view out over the casino floor below, you see 3 Nautolans. One green, one kind of tealish, muted tealish color, and one very dark purple. All kind of lean together, giggling, all 3 of them female. And in pretty nice clothes, though, so you kind of squint a little bit towards them. Roll me try to see how much you have learned from EotE. Roll me either Underworld or Core World Knowledge at 2 purple.
2 purple. I'll do Underworld. Fuck.
Okay. They seem to be in fairly nice dresses, various colors, all leaning together and giggling. You can see them kind of looking over the balcony, and like one of them will peer over for a few minutes and then have a big reaction and turn to the others and whisper, and they start like another one will lean over after the conversation, like almost like you can tell they're gossiping.
Kane just squints a little bit. Can't really make out anything they're saying, but makes note of them, and then he'll say under his breath, like, casually reach for whatever, like, free water or something on the table to be like, we have a few people here who seem a bit out of the ordinary. Merc type. A couple seems to be gossiping over there, or a couple who all seem to be gossiping over there. This is potentially good. They might pick up on your name drop. Kane will signal for a waiter or waitress, and he'll ask, because we have a drink menu. Just like, excuse me, can we get some kind of nice vintage for the ambassador here?
You kind of signal for the young Tiguruda, and she comes over after she drops off drinks at another table, and starts to look at the menu as you like kind of hold it up to gesture, and she, staring at it, blinks, and you can see her you can see the hamster wheel starting to turn. Takes a minute, but it starts. And then she looks at you, and then you see her, like, head snap to you at first, and very slowly towards Kana. Ambassador, of course. Of course, I will, is there a whiskey or wine, or what is preferred, ma'am?
Wine.
Said wine?
Yeah.
And you see her kind of like bob her head a little bit. Wine. Yes, of course. We will make sure to get you. We do believe we have a good vintage of Coruscant wine. I will see about that. Bottle or glass? Bottle, of course. What stupid question? And immediately turns and hustles off to the bar.
Kane, very pleased with how that went, just smiles to himself a little bit. See, you are natural at this.
This is going on a tap, right?
Opens his mouth to answer that very confidently, and then goes, yes. You know what? Charge up to the room. We'll just throw all the charges to the room, and we'll let our absent friend deal with it.
Well, she did say to enjoy myself. She kind of smirks a little bit.
Kane also smirks. Like, he shrugs and just goes, see? Told you it'd be kind of fun. You've never done anything like this, have you?
No, I haven't.
Huh. It's funny, considering, well, we both shared teachers in a weird way, and this is the sort of thing that Master Hylonia would brush me up on all the time. And he goes from excited to a little bit forlorn.
And just clarifying here, Lissy didn't really put Kana in this in these type of situations, if I remember correctly.
Not particularly. She's been to a casino before.
Mm-hmm.
She has been in the shadier side of things, but Lissy never put her undercover because she very quickly figured out that was not Kana's strong suit.
Nope.
So she was going to train her in what she was good at. So you've heard, like, Atreyu has gone undercover once. There was a time where Telsey was forced to go undercover. Did not turn out well for Telsey. But they have both had experience. Atreyu the most out of the three of you. You have not had to go undercover. You have just had to be unnoticed. More so than anything.
Yeah, going undercover. I haven't done it before. Master Lissy didn't really put me in those situations.
It can be pretty, well, exhilarating, for lack of a better word. If not a bit
nerve-wracking.
Nerve-wracking, yes.
I would much prefer to be in your position in all this.
He kind of awkwardly shrugs and just goes, that's why I'm in my position, is because it's easy to pretend you're someone you're not when you just have to blend in. I don't need a disguise when I'm just not really anybody.
Hmm.
Right about then is when the waitress comes back with a cart that has a bucket on it with ice to chill the bottle and keep it chilled, and a couple of glasses, and it's very clearly a she's trying to make a fuss now. A fuss that's out of sorts. You don't see this much going on in any of the other tables. And there are a couple of eyes that drift in your direction, kind of follow the cart and look between the two of you. Most of them seem fairly uninterested, though Kane, you kind of cut your eyes towards the table of Natolans, and you can see that one of them is watching very intently, very unabashedly, just like, what's going on over there? And the Chigruda kind of makes a show of properly pouring the wine out, letting you see the bottle and uncorking it and pouring it out. And then she looks a little uncertain at first. The very first taste, she kind of looks between Kane and Kana. I'm sorry, I don't, it's very much this, like, I don't know who I'm supposed to hand this to first.
Kane will gesture to he will gesture to himself and say, "Please, if I may, it's a safety precaution."
And she just nods really quickly and hands it over to you. And you've been exposed to some luxury through EotE. And this is perhaps not the best wine you have ever tasted, but it's pretty damn good. You can tell that there was a little bit of a thought put into picking it out for the table. And as soon as you taste it and approve it, she pours two glasses for you, and then tucks the bottle away. Is there anything else I can do for you, ma'am? It's, I don't know, food or another drink, or are you wanting to maybe, I don't know, talk to somebody about the races? Or she just like starts listing, like shifting from like foot to foot, little antsy, and it has attracted the attention of another one of the Nautolans, though the third one still is looking very determinedly over the balcony down at something on the casino floor.
Hana says, I'll order this, some kind of appetizer. She'll just point at something on the menu. But speaking to someone about the races would be phenomenal.
She nods very quickly. I will have somebody sent right to you. I don't know exactly where they are at the moment, so I can't promise you that they're going to be here immediately, but certainly by the time you're done with your food. They'll be here to help you make any decisions, place any bets that you would like to make, and anything else either of you need?
At the moment, I believe Miss Ambassador Fell and I are quite all right.
She nods and skitters away. You can see her the bar is back behind Kane, so he can't exactly see where she disappears to without turning around and visibly like watching her, but you can see her rush back towards the bar and lean across and whisper with the bartender there. And so there is conversation that happens immediately after the interaction, though you can't exactly tell what it's about. And Kane, you do see the two Natolans start to turn and whisper to each other. And one cuts their eyes back towards y'all's table a few times.
Seems like the waitress got the memo. Spreading the word.
Yes, this seems to be going quite smoothly. Kane will like steeple his fingers and lean on his hands and just be like, again, you're natural at this. All you have to do is act cool and aloof.
Yes, I just gotta remember not to speak so much.
Iris.
Yeah.
Roll me a d20.
Yes.
I almost saw it roll on a 1.
I should just, like, for the shits and giggles, make Joe roll, like, 20d20.
No!
Okay. So, 19. Kane. Let me double check this map in my head. Yeah. Kane, roll me perception. No. Yes, perception. At 2 purple.
Perception has my most dice. Damn.
See, either I can let you roll the one that you have the most dice with, which then you're going to have to do a bunch of squats and push-ups for, or I can roll the one that you're probably not going to get anything for. So, squats and push-ups or success?
Ah.
Wants both and neither.
A real gym bro would say that squats are success.
So you're satisfied with how things are starting to turn out. You can keep an eye on the Natolans on the far side of the balcony eating area. But you also see the Dewutin on the far end kind of turn, and you're not sure at first if it's because they heard what was going on, or if it's just kind of a general kind of lazy, been there a while scan of the restaurant. You can see them look and eyes land on each table that is occupied and stare at the occupants for a second. And then they land on your table and stare for a moment. And then look at you. And then look at Kana and kind of squint a little bit. Though for Kana, this is behind her. So all this Dewutin can see is the back of Kana's head, really. And see them kind of taking her in and then looking at the tray beside the table and then looking back at her again. And there's a little bit more... You can't read their expression particularly well from this distance, and they are keeping it fairly monotone is not the right word for an expression because monotone is auditory, but monotone.
Casual?
Huh?
Casual?
Casual is
Neutral,
a good
perhaps?
word. Neutral. There we go. A little bit more neutral. But there's clearly some sort of interest that they are taking in and noting the two of you.
I think we got someone's attention.
You know?
Kane will say it under his breath, like, not pointing to them, but he'll say, like, appears to be a Dewutin who's giving us quite a look down.
He kind of glances around, like, the front end, doesn't see him. I'm assuming behind him. They seem like a threat.
It's hard to tell right now, but I don't think so. Just seems to be an interested party.
Okay. Two of you, because I really want an opportunity to nerd out about this, but I can't nerd out about this unless it fits. So, two of you can roll a knowledge xenology. to purple.
Xenology?
I don't think either of us has that.
I do not have it as a career skill. Does that mean I can't technically roll it?
No, you can roll anything.
Okay.
Cool. So, I'm gonna nerd out about Dewooten for a second. Because they are criminally underappreciated for what lore there is about them. Dewooten are notorious for their size and strength. Much like a Wookiee or a Trandoshan, they are head and shoulders above, at minimum, above most other humanoids, and just massive hulking beings. But they are particularly known for their strength, durability, and lifespan, as Dewooten are theoretically, with a heavy emphasis on theoretically, immortal. They will continue to grow in size and strength until they are killed.
Huh.
There are those that have been known to live for several hundred years and weigh over a ton. Because they just have not been killed.
Oh no. Does this dude know Iffy? Oh fuck. I didn't think that could be. I didn't think about that as a possibility.
Shit.
What are you gonna do?
Just play it cool. Just play it cool, and we're just gonna keep going. This is Ambassador Fell. We didn't say Iphigenia Fell. Just regular Fell.
Ah, yes, the other members of the house that are notoriously all politicians.
Just
So,
it's fine.
we've got Kana and Kane up in the restaurant dealing with that. We've started them out. We're going to shift focus here to the other three and get you all set up and see where all of you land for next time. So, Kana and Kane, I imagine we're still getting ready and still talking out a few things. So the three of you actually were the ones that left first. Where are Tia, Vialexa, and Iffy headed?
If you want to get to know a city, ask the rats.
We're going to Rat Town.
A shady bar or something.
You're
A
going
cantina.
to Ratlenberg.
Ratlenberg. Yes, exactly.
Oh my god.
Going to Chuck Entertainment Cheese's house.
Yeah.
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Charles,
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
We
You're
use
right,
his
I'm so
Christian
sorry.
name in this house.
My mistake. I'm so sorry.
You apologize to Chuck E. Cheese.
Don't be sorry, be better.
So, you kind of ask around the lobby and a couple of people on the street after cantinas. And there is, of course, the bar at the casino. There is a bar at the club that they mention. And then they mention two other cantinas that the people in the lobby mention one. That from where they describe it to be is just a little off from the shopping district. And then another one that is very near the spaceport that is only mentioned by somebody you ask out on the street outside the hotel. And those two are specifically cantinas. They are not club or casino adjacent.
Can I get a quick repeat on that list? I'm sorry, my notes froze for a second.
When you're asking after kind of cantina, watering hole type places, aside from just like basic, most all the restaurants in town are gonna have alcohol. They mentioned the bar at the casino, the bar at the club, a cantina that is just adjacent to just off of the shopping district, and then one that is closer to the spaceport.
Is it another cantina closer to the spaceport?
Yes, the last two are cantinas. So they are not attached to, as far as you can tell, any other type of entertainment establishment. They are just cantinas.
Well, I mean, Tia is following Ivy and by Alexa's lead here.
Ivy's following by Alexis.
Fuck
I was gonna
yeah.
I say, let's hold on, let's rethink this.
Is there a problem?
The way you said that has me concerned. Alright, I personally, as a player, I quite literally just like the word cantina.
Oh, cantina for sure.
Yeah, we're going to a cantina.
Okay? I was gonna be like, I like the cantina vibe.
I figured the one by the spaceport's a good bet. There's probably a lot of gossip there, but up to you guys.
It depends. Do you want to go shopping first?
Do we want gossip
Ice
or do we
emoji.
want shady? There's a difference. If the goal is to ingratiate Ithy with like the shady crowd, we need the shady crowd.
Yeah, let's do the shady crowd.
Yeah.
Okay. So what, the cantina by the spaceport?
Wherever
Which one
that
is
would
the
be.
shady crowd? The shady crowd. I would assume so.
You either have to work off of what you would assume, or you have to tell me how you are going about trying to find shady, quote unquote, in conversation.
I was
Because
thinking
I'm
like an
also
alleyway bar.
assuming that you're not wanting to just walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, where's the shadiest place in town?"
I was thinking
Actually,
an alleyway cantina, you know, if those exist in this universe.
Not
thinking-
here.
Not here. Okay.
Is it possible that maybe Tia has heard of Spots as a smuggler person? Maybe. Is that possible?
You can make it'll be a very hard roll, but you can roll to see if you've heard of anything, because yes, you are a smuggler, but you've also never been to this planet.
Yeah, it's a long shot, but it's something.
So you will give me we'll do outer rim knowledge at 4 purple.
I mean, what else am I gonna do, right? It's not like I'm doing push-ups for my roll.
Oh my god!
Hey!
Damn. Okay.
Let's fucking go!
Did it!
You
Tia rolls outer rim knowledge.
I'm just kind of like listening to the conversation and the suggestions that are being made. And you've heard of the Grand Casino. You've heard of the club. You have heard one or two things about Bullbringing, and you're just racking your brain, trying to remember what you've heard. And then they mention the name of the casino by the spaceport. No, I am not naming it. And you swear that you have heard that name before as somebody mentioning coming or going. You can name it if it's not a pun.
A caveat.
What a caveat.
I know better than to trust Amy with naming something. It'll be a pun. You are too proud of your puns, ma'am.
No, I'm not. Continue with your description.
No, you lying bitch. You stopped a conversation the other day to say, I'm proud of my puns. Literally.
You did, it's true. You did say that, it's true.
I need to brag about my puns for a minute. So you swear you've heard that about that cantina before as someplace that a smuggler or somebody that you met while you were with Shaiska's crew has saying that you don't think were stationed out of, but got some useful information or passed through. So out of the ones that have been kind of brought up, you're able to kind of look towards Iffy and Vialexa and let them know that one may have something. Maybe just a little shadier.
I imagine that Tia was just like following along. Probably like a step or two behind the two of them. Just chatting, listening. And the names mentioned. And I just found a generator, so you can't get mad at me, okay?
Is it a pun?
I don't think so. It's just very obviously Star Wars name generator.
Okay.
Okay. She like stops for a second. She's like, I'm sorry, did you mention the dancing bantha?
The what?
The dancing bantha.
The dancing vampire?
Bantha.
Bantha.
Bantha, okay.
Was that one of the options?
I think so.
I think we should go there.
Yeah, works for me.
What kind of dances do you think Bantha do anyway?
They just kind of shimmy, and Vialexa does like a little shimmy with her body. Just kind of, and then she shimmies again.
Soft golf clap. From Tia. Probably something similar to that, but there is one way to find out.
Oh, you think they got Bantha in there?
I'm not sure. I've never been there. I've heard of it, though.
I don't know if a good reputation or a bad reputation is what we're looking for here, really.
Definitely a bad reputation.
Do you really think I ought to take you guys somewhere with a good reputation?
No, that's probably too expensive.
Right, well, shall we?
Lead the way.
Pulls out a map. She's ever fucking been here before.
Okay, Google. Show me the dancing Banthas.
It just pulls up a GIF. like
the dancing
poorly,
baby?
yeah, like a poorly drawn like Bantha over like a model, a dancing model.
So, you guys head back kind of vague direction of the spaceport, but rather than turning directly down the path that leads to the spaceport itself, you turn off onto another side street and end up at a cantina that is near about butting up right to the spaceport itself. It is kind of in the middle of a block, buildings on either side, buildings across the street. It looks unremarkable, and there's kind of this vibe that this little section, at the very least, is people native to this city, native to this planet. These are not tourists. These are not people that are just there for a short period. This is where a lot of the workers, you might assume, for the spaceport probably live. And you enter into the cantina, and it is a decent place. Not quite dive bar vibe, but very close to it. Of a little smaller than cantinas that most of you would prefer. A little darker. There is somebody DJing at the booth across the way. There aren't any dancers. There's no live performers at the moment, at the very least. You see a handful of people. There's it's not overflowing busy, but it's got a good amount of business in. And you can see, as soon as you all enter, that you have a mix of people in uniforms, some security personnel, some workers in like mechanic suits and pilot suits for the spaceport. You see some others that are in more normal everyday clothes, like they're off shift or this is their day off. And you can see a handful even that maybe look like they're just a little bit better dressed, maybe a casino worker or a club worker, but mingling amongst the others. I need from the three of you perception checks at 3 purple.
Oh, it's purple. Let's see.
Oh boy.
Oh God.
Damn, Iffy.
If
It's
he
so
sees
funny.
fucking forever.
Sees for
Why?
fucking ever, but nothing that she wants to see.
I got 1 success.
I love that the rules are like opposites.
Oh man.
The duality of Genesis.
Tia got a little distracted.
I'm
Just a little bit.
just baffled by this set of rolls.
I gotta write this shit down.
We have 2 failures, 4 successes and 3 threats, 1 success and 5 threats. But Alexa, you
really
enter
love
into
it.
this cantina, and you immediately get a waft of this something that is being cooked, and immediately your stomach lets out the loudest fucking growl, and you realize you may have forgotten to eat lunch today. And
Damn this low
immediately,
carb diet.
yeah, immediately your brain goes from like, oh, let's find somebody to talk to, like, I'm not talking to anybody until I get food. You have a new mission for the next 5 minutes. Iffy, as you are looking around, actually, pause, rewind, we'll start with Tia. As you are looking around, Tia, you can tell those people that are, like, working in the local shops in the spaceport, casino maybe, you can tell the difference between the outfits being worn by those that are meant to be here, and the outfits from a handful of people that you immediately notice is like, that's probably somebody that is passing through or is for hire. So you can tell that there's not a lot, not nearly as many as you have seen in other cantinas in other parts of the galaxy. But you immediately can peg at least 4 different mercs in the cantina, kind of scattered around. 2 of them seem to be playing cards at a table with others. 2 others are kind of mingling with different groups. So it doesn't seem like, aside from maybe the 2 that are playing cards together, that the mercs are together. But very clearly dressed and garbed in armored and padded clothing, and you're pretty sure that you're seeing a couple of weapons on their belts that are not perhaps the biggest or the best, but better than standard security personnel would have around here. Iffy, you also peg the mercs, but you can see another few people from your various dealings and experiences that are a little bit more settled, that seem to be, at a circular table with other people, but they, even though they are at a circular table, are the head of that table. That are commanding the presence of those around them, and kind of drawing the attention and the eyes of those around them. Some look to be, perhaps a shift lead, or perhaps the most extroverted out of a friend group. But there's 2 in particular that you see that don't look like the workers that they are talking to and that they are positioned amongst. They have that air about them that you're pretty sure that they're possibly into shady stuff. Maybe a smuggler, maybe a spice runner, something along those lines. One, let's see here, one is a Rhodian who has kind of procured a booth table, a large booth table, to one side of the cantina. And the other is... No, I don't want that one. Having to go scrolling through my pictures for rando NPCs to attach to these names that I have for things. Give me one moment.
I mean, you don't have a name generator on hand immediately, Z?
Well, I can name you just like random fucking races off the top of my head, but it's never the ones that I actually want.
Fair.
It's like, I could just fucking tell you that it's a Gungan, but I'm not putting a fucking Gungan in this campaign.
Why not? That sounds amazing.
No. You see a Celestin. A little bit more towards the center of the room. Watching the card game, but not participating in it, like at the table beside it.
Well, there's your shot, Liffy.
All right. I mean, if there's a card game, I figure we start there. But to start things off in a friendly way, I will have Iffy buy that table around and then approach to ask to play cards.
So Vilexa can get her sandwich really fast.
Yep. I'm hungry
course.
now.
I'm sorry, who was the second person that Iffy saw?
A
Yeah,
Celestin.
Herodian. What do you spell it?
Sullustan.
Okay, where are they?
Essentially at a table beside the one that is playing cards. They are watching it and kind of listening and engaging with them, and engaging with the table that they are sitting at, but they are not playing cards themselves. And Salustans are... Go back to this one for a second. Essentially, they're kind of looking like this dude. I don't think that's specifically a Salustan, but they're one of the ones that look like that.
Okay.
So, go to the bar, and there is... Stop fucking messaging me. The bartender is an Ektochi bartender.
Oh, he must be struggling.
And he just kind of looks at the group as you come over and place the order for the food and then for the round for the people at the card table. And you can see there's a little bit of confusion as he looks over all three of you, and there's a little bit of a head tilt as he puts in the orders. I don't think I've seen any of you before.
No, you haven't. This is actually, we're just passing through on business. Looking to do a little networking.
And see this kind of blink and a little tiny nod. And any networking in particular you're looking at?
Well, we're in the import-export business.
And there's a little twist of a frown for a moment. Not gonna be causing anything of concern, right?
Oh, of course not. I'm an upstanding businesswoman, I'll have you know.
Frown doesn't quite leave. And...
If he... Oh, God.
Oh, you go ahead.
If he leans over, gestures to herself, and goes, "Do I look like the type to be causing a fight in here?"
In here? No. Causing a fight? Maybe.
Well, as long as it's not in here, we're on good terms, ain't we?
There's just a snort and roll of the eyes, and he shakes his head. As long as it's not in here. And he slides you all drinks, and you notice very distinctly that all the drinks that you get, and all the drinks, and you kind of look around the restaurant, they are not served in glass. They are served in metal cups of various kinds. And all of the cups are very wide-rimmed. Assumedly to try and help with some of his dexterity issues.
Aw, the poor guy.
What? What does he look like? What?
Ektochi are huge demon-looking dudes, but the problem is they're like 8-9 feet tall or some shit, but they have like no manual dexterity, pretty much. Like their fingers are very stiff.
Mm-hmm. They have essentially like really thick, really fatty fingers that don't bend properly.
Aw.
So he is trying his best.
It's his passion.
So there's not a lot of fancy cup and a lot of fancy bartending going on, but you get your drinks. That's the important part.
Get the drinks. Are the drinks good?
For the most part, yeah. Maybe a little heavy-handed.
Haha. Tia will sip her drink and just give nod of approval.
And as the round of drinks is brought by a waiter over to the table with that was playing cards, you can see, like, one by one the, like, confusion of, like, what is this? Why am I getting this? I didn't order this. And then the explanation, and all of the heads one by one shift in your direction and look. And then finally one of the mercs raises the glass. This, like, little salute, and, like, hey! And then the rest of the table follows suit. So there's this, like, very distinct increase in noise directed at all of you, and that gets even more curious looks from around the cantina in your direction. So the three of you have suddenly become known in the cantina, and as the players of the card game go back to what they are doing, there's still a few lingering gazes from around the cantina that you all can feel on you.
No less talking, more gaming, yeah? And Violexa, like, takes a seat next to them. Crosses her legs, stretching out. What's the game?
So you move from the bar over to the card table.
Yeah.
So you sit at one of the chairs by this table, and you're kind of watching the game. And it's very clearly a game of Sabacc that is being played. And one of the players kind of looks at you like head to toe for a second, with, like, arched brow. Assuming you're wanting dealt in. Got any credits on you?
I got a couple. Hey, Iffy, come play.
Where is he?
Well, whatever your name is for this session, come here. What's your fake name for today?
Yeah, I haven't picked one out yet.
Hey, Kana, come here.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do that. Yes, that's good.
Oh my god. No.
Kana is dying a little inside right now.
He's got a migraine from the force.
If he will smirk as she saunters on over and takes a seat next to Violexa as well. What's going on? We got cards?
The merc that was talking to Violexa just kind of nods. Low stakes compared to everywhere else around here, but still 5 credit buy-in.
It's about the fun, not about the money, right? I'll put 5 credits on the table.
If he will put 5 credits on the table and go, it's always better to get to know each other this way. Although, keep an eye on this one over here. She points to Tia. She's real sly.
Seriously?
Are you saying you're not?
I'm saying you've accused me of cheating with no proof at all.
I didn't say you were cheating this time. I just said you were sly. You're the one who used the C word.
You're not going to outsmart me. But I'll just sit out this round. I'll just watch you all play.
If it's about the credits, I'll cover you. Come on, have some fun.
I can buy a 5 credit round. Do you all... Fuck. Sorry, sick Amy is almost out of the fucking forest, out of the woods.
I can sympathize.
Yeah, it's like, ugh. Is there room for one more person at the table?
And as you ask that, the Merc will just kind of nod. Yeah, as soon as this round's over.
You don't mind if I spectate, do you?
He just kind of like gestures vaguely around. Ain't nobody gonna stop you.
Perfect. She's going to take a seat to spectate this round. Because she don't got the fucking stats for gambling, guys. Let her spectate.
Oh, I don't either.
And the card game that you guys kind of sat down in the midst of continues for another minute or two. You can very clearly tell that everybody there is very accustomed to gambling. This is a pastime for these people. And in particular, the two mercs seem to be the most skilled. You're not quite sure if it's because they're good at bluffing, because they're very lucky, or because they're cheating in some way. But you can tell by both the stack of credits in front of both of them and by the end of the round that they are kind of the two to beat at the table. And as the round continues and different people fold out and call, you can tell that the Sleuston that's at the table beside is paying very close attention and will occasionally like go from watching to leaning over to somebody else at the table he's at and whisper. There's very clearly a conversation happening about the gambling at that table, even though nobody is participating in it. Iffy, I need you to roll me a d20.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see how that goes. Oh no!
Oh.
Oh.
But this isn't D&D. That one
Yes.
doesn't mean bad.
Yes.
It's not D&D, but it is Z.
It's I was gonna say it's Z.
It's
What do you
D&D.
think a D20 means?
As the round ends and both Vilexa and Iffy toss a credit chip onto the table and start to get hands dealt to them, you can been kind of hearing the comings and goings at this cantina the entire time that you've been in there. It is, again, not overly busy, but there are still people that are coming in for their, like, you know, afternoon drink or food, coming in, eating, talking, socializing just a little bit and leaving. So there's a pretty steady flow of a couple people in, a couple people out. And as you guys are being dealt a hand, Iffy, you feel a very intense gaze in the back of your head. And it's more than just the passing curiosity that you are used to. And Tia and Vilexa, the two of you are kind of sitting to either side of Iffy, can see, as you look around the restaurant, somebody approaching the table behind Iffy and just very quietly, Iphigenia. And that's where we're going to end it.
Oh goddamn!
We've been made. Abort.
Ooh.
The feds,
Shit.
the feds are here. Run.